Hello and welcome back to the Harmony and Hustle podcast. I'm Dan and this is my good friend Shaun.
Howdy doody. Welcome back, guys.
And we're here today with Martin Camp. How you doing, Martin?
I'm all right.
Howdy doody, sir.
Howdy.
So obviously people listening might not have heard of you. Like, how would you sort of describe yourself and how you're involved in music and the music industry in general?
Promoter, agent, musician, creative.
Lots of different labels.
Yeah, I can probably add more, but they're the focus.
The main ones, yeah.
Yeah.
And how did you first get into music? You know, did you start off as a musician, like playing in bands and stuff like that, or did you start doing events, or what was the journey like?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in the new metal era, so my first sort of introduction to the music that got me into music, that was, new metal and that period in general, and there was a lot of originality and unknown, be it through bands that had masks and stuff like that. There was a lot of interesting characters. And
We spoke about this on our first episode, didn't we?
Yeah,
Like the mask stuff, like Slipknot.
Slipknot, yeah.
And it always interested me, the anonymity of some musicians, especially when they went through such great depth to, at that point in time, protect who they were and not let you know who they were. And I really liked that, and through that I took quite a keen interest in Wes Borland from Limp Bizkit, and ended up picking up a guitar myself.
Oh, so you play guitar? Is that your instrument, or do you play other stuff too?
I did, yeah, for a while, and then I decided that the responsibility of being a guitarist was just
too much.
I couldn't be asked with it. so I got rid of a few strings and went on to bass, so I could sort of sit in the background a little bit and play root notes, So yeah, guitar was what got me into it, and it just sort of went on from there. Really, just paid a lot of interest to the industry and what other bands were doing and stuff, and my interest sort of peaked in different directions until I started doing everything else that I do now, and doing various press things and radio stuff, and all the way up until promoting and booking and.
Sick. So just going back to the bass thing quickly, are you doing any stuff actively with that, like in bands and stuff? I think I might know the answer to this question, but I don't want to ask directly, so I'll see what you say. I did a bit of research.
Yeah, right.
I was like, that's interesting.
Right this minute, musically, I'm quiet.
Okay.
So when I've got a couple of things that are there and available as and when they're available. So there's one band called Influence, who we lost a drummer, and we've not been able to find another drummer since. So that's just sort of laid dormant. And then Ryan, local guy here, yeah.
This is what I saw, and I was like, ooh. I was like, that's interesting. I want to know how this came about.
So
tell us.
So yeah, I worked with Freddie and Ellie, who were the guitarist and the drummer, in reworking a bunch of his hits with Soil and Drowning Pool, and and then we went out and did a bunch of shows that.
So Ryan is the singer from Soil and Drowning Pool.
Yes.
Ryan
McCombs.
McCombs. Yeah, I saw that and I was like, that's familiar.
Yeah,
I
local.
looked into it. I was like, ooh, that's interesting. How did that come about? Because they're all American.
Yeah, but he lives over here, doesn't he?
Does he? I didn't know. I had no idea. I had no idea. I haven't listened to him in a long time, and it brought back memories. I was like, oh my God.
Just through mutuals.
Yeah,
we
like
got chatting
connections.
and one thing led to another,
Sick. That's cool. It's pretty unique.
Yeah, and that's something that we do when he's around and available. But
nice. Just like a side project gig sort of thing for fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, his schedule's been a bit mental recently.
Yeah.
So it's been difficult to do anything, but yeah, we've done some good stuff with it. So
That's interesting. What other like bands and projects have you been involved with musically?
many years ago, with the singer, I started the band Gut Locker.
What a cool name.
Yeah,
God.
yeah. And then I was with Colour of Bone for a little bit before they started gigging.
Name rings a bell.
They're local, and I've got them playing Deprivation Festival.
Yeah, okay.
So
That's right, yeah.
I was with them. There's a few bands that I've been a part of that are playing Deprivation this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Not getting FOMO, fear of missing out,
around what?
not playing Deprivation.
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna be busy enough.
Yeah, no, that's
I
fair
could
enough.
have.
I'm just curious because you said you're in a lot of band. You were in a lot of bands you're playing. So I was like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, if Influence was still doing stuff, I would have 100% put us on there because we would have fit the bill and it would have been just fun to just play a gig.
Because I see these guys play. Like I try and catch the gigs and I get FOMO. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love playing live. It's
Yeah,
great.
I miss it, man.
I mean,
As soon as I got a chance, I'm going to finally start like a metal band, like a hard rock band, and like.
I mean, I've got
do what
some
I'm meant to be doing, but yeah.
some sort of musical impression on the event with this charity song that I've been putting together, and that's all. Something that
Okay.
I've
I think
written.
I've heard some rumblings of this,
Yeah,
but
it's
I
a
didn't
big,
look too much.
big project. It's been probably half a year's worth of work just
Wow.
to do one song.
Jeez.
Wow.
Yeah, Metal Live Aid.
Really? Oh, mate, that sounds like a really cool idea.
Yeah. So I'm trying
Are you
to.
able to say who's involved with that, or?
Yeah, I've put all the names out.
You have? Okay, cool.
It's like I don't remember everyone off the top of my head, but there's 18 musicians in total.
Wow.
All of them are in the bands that are playing Depfest this year.
Okay,
Right.
that's really cool.
And then a selection of different sound engineers and stuff that have worked with the drummer and the guitarist and a couple of the singers and that. And
Yeah, I was going to ask if it's just all the singers like doing a bit, or if it's like all
no,
members,
it's the band
all
as well.
Yeah, whole
And
band.
then,
Yeah, that's really cool.
My stagehand, he did one of the guitars. Whoops, he did one of the guitar solos on it.
Nice.
And because of
Like a guitar solo.
I had two bass. There's 3 guitar solos in it.
I like free guitar solos.
But
Hell yeah.
I had 2 different bassists lined up, but due to busy schedules and stuff, in the end, I was like, I've got like a week and I'm not getting any sign of life. So
Sounds like my uni modules.
so I've ended up playing the bass on it.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's cool.
Which I didn't want to do, but
No?
I didn't want to be a
fair
part.
enough.
I didn't want to criticise it. I wanted to enjoy it. If
Yeah,
I'm going to criticise
yeah.
So-
Because you're playing on it, you'll just nitpick it and be like,
it. Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I haven't,
I'm no
'cause
stranger
actually-
to that.
I'm pretty happy with what I did on it, so it sounds
Good.
and it sounds good. So, yeah, that goes off
When's that looking to come out?
soon.
Soon.
Yeah, I finished. I was in the studio with Earthworm Recording Studios. They're the ones that are mixing it.
Okay.
They're local to here.
I know that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good
So-
studio.
I've not heard.
Yeah,
Where is
I've
it?
done a session there. I think, is it in Greenbridge? Is that the right one?
Oh,
it's the other
okay.
side of Swindon.
Yeah, that sort of side. Yeah. I thought so.
So he's mixed it, and I went over to do all the final bits with him and make sure everything was where it needed to be last night. So we sent it off to be mastered last night. So probably by the time this comes out, I'll probably have the master back.
Nice.
I'm stoked to hear that.
Yeah.
Like,
And then when the master comes back, I can choose a date and get it out to press and radio and
nice. What radio stuff are you involved with? Is that anything to do with 105.5 or?
No,
I imagined not, but
I did some stuff with a couple of online metal radio stations. So
okay.
I did a lot of show coverage for them, like press it, download, and
Oh, sweet.
interviewing
Okay,
and
nice.
reviewing and stuff.
Yeah, downloads just happened, hasn't it?
Yeah, this was a fair few years ago now.
Okay.
But yeah, I did a few of the festivals and went to a bunch of different shows and album reviews and stuff like that. So that was more my part in that. I mean, I did some hospital radio for a while, and then initially I was doing like graphic design, web design for a mainstream radio station many years ago. So I've been tied in with all that for a little while.
Nice. Sick.
So how did you get into like promoting shows? I mean, obviously it sounds like you're involved in a lot of different music projects. So I guess that's a challenge in itself. But what led you into thinking, I'll start putting on my own gigs?
Partly because I'm quite present in the underground scene, and I love like grassroots venues, grassroots bands, and the smaller guys. You know,
Same.
And
That's
some of the music that
We're all
these
about
guys
that.
put out is incredible. And what I've sort of tried, or what motivated me to try and do something is trying to put myself in a position where I can attempt to alter the outer city venues and try and get something that's a bit more bigger.
Sure.
Well, you know, there's a lot of great mid-range bands or bigger bands that will tour the smaller cities or the smaller towns and stuff that are off your typical sort of touring route.
Yeah.
But
It's surprising we don't get more stuff like that in Swindon, just because we're slap bang in the middle of London and Bristol. We're like the main,
But that's
we're like
the
the biggest
problem,
town, one of the biggest towns in the UK. Probably,
Exactly.
I think maybe the biggest town. Like,
Yeah, but then it's like
Like,
why,
we're known as
why
the
not just
commuter
play in
town?
Bristol and London? And that's the issue that
Yeah.
bands
yeah, I
have.
think, like
I
you
mean-
said before, if we had the venues,
yeah.
maybe it'd be different.
we have some good venues here.
It's coming back.
Yeah, and there's no reason why this town in particular can't cater to a lot of the bigger bands. But one of the problems is that you've got places like Bristol so close to us. They fall in the mile radius for not doing a show so close for a lot of the bigger touring bands. And if a band puts out a show in, say, the Feckler or the Fleece, there's a high chance of that selling really well or selling out, and there's been many bands that obviously have done that. I mean, talking of smaller bands that have done well in Bristol, like Mother Vulture, who sold out the Feckler pretty quick, and that's like what, 350-ish cap. But if you
Good
put,
size.
yeah,
So-
but if you put them on their own in Swindon, they wouldn't even touch that. So in the eyes of like the bigger guys or whatever, why struggle to sell a show in Swindon when you can just put it there and it do well?
Why do you think they would struggle? Or trying to think, yeah, what evidence out there is that you've come across that would suggest, like, why do you think that is necessarily? So back in the day, like, I think we spoke about this before, go to levels, we watched like Zebrahead and stuff.
Yeah,
Captain Everything, I think I saw like one of their last ever shows there.
loads of good
Yeah,
shit.
and that doesn't happen
No.
anymore.
No,
I can never put my finger on why.
It's a complicated one, that, I think. There's a lot of points.
Because
You've got
the
all
market's there. It's just
Yes.
yeah.
You've got all of the elements of the current status of how the industry works to take into consideration, and you've also got maybe a lack of promoters that are prepared to take the risk that comes with some of these other bands. You know, if you're paying anywhere from sort of £4,000 for a band to play, you got to be pretty confident or stupid to hope that you're going to make your money back on that sort of show in Swindon.
But then if those bands came to Swindon, people would go.
If they came consistently,
Yeah.
then
Like
yes,
if there's an
that would
Shikari
really drive
gig
it.
next week in Swindon, like for example at Levels or the Mecca, I'm sure.
I mean, that's going to be Mecca size. I've been trying to make that happen.
Sure, that would get. Like, I'm sure that could happen.
I think that would sell, like enough tickets.
And at Shikari,
There'd be a Mecca.
Mecca,
Yeah,
not
definitely.
levels, but yeah, I think that would sell on a ticket, something like that. But then they could do a bigger show like Bristol for sure.
Yeah,
You know, that's always the challenge, I think.
yeah.
I'm guessing it's all to do with as well. Is the Mecca equipped to handle?
It would be
Someone like-
you'd have to bring a lot of stuff in for
I
it.
think they
It
would
is.
bring their own sound system for that anyway. To be fair, and then it wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, I don't mean like Levels. Imagine that at Shikari at Levels, like That would be cool though. I've said before, maybe they should do a secret gig and just turn up.
I mean, they're the sort of band that would probably
do it,
sign up for something like that, but it'd have to be somewhere they'd do it at some squatty pub in London rather than a pub in Swindon.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah. God, man, Swindon's just.
I mean, if you've got
It's just not.
if you've got like enough people sort of taking the risk on the higher fees of the bigger bands, so that you were consistently getting them into Swindon, then bigger agents, bigger bands, more people will pay attention to what's going on in Swindon.
We need to befriend
That's
some
where
real rich guy.
They're drip fed.
Yeah.
People do get them in. I mean, Darren at the Vic, he when he was running level 3, he was getting some of the bigger stuff in every now and then, and people have done it before, and people continue to do it. But it's the consistency. It's a rarity that something of that size comes now, and it's difficult for one person to book a show like that all the time.
Yeah. Because of the risk.
Yeah, and there's deposits and various stuff like that. So yeah, it is difficult, and it doesn't just go for Swindon. There's loads of places that are out of central locations and off route and stuff that could have the opportunity to have bigger stuff, but it's trying to get a relationship in a certain place with an agent or a manager or a band to make them feel like it's worth doing.
Yeah, sure.
Or that they can trust the promoters that are doing it. So it's like what I'm kind of trying to work on in the promotion side of things is that building the relationship with bigger agents so that they're more prepared to work with me with other stuff.
Yeah, sure.
So
yeah, that makes sense.
And that's not just me,
because you build up that kind of rapport like that.
Yeah, and that's not just me booking in Swindon. That's me booking anywhere in the country.
Yeah.
If I have enough shows in other locations, and the agents know that the bands are going to get paid or whatever, and I'm going to pay my deposits on time and stuff like that, then they're going to be more inclined to trust my word when I say, right, can I have this band in Swindon?
Yeah.
But a lot of these people, they've got better relationships, solid relationships that they've had for a long time with promoters in Swindon, Oxford, and all these other places, that they know that guy. Why give me that? So yeah, it's just a timely process of building a relationship and being trusted by these guys.
Slowly working your way up that ladder.
Yeah.
So that goes with everything, I suppose. Like,
yeah.
That's kind of what, the first sort of step of that is what Deprivation is this year.
Yeah.
I'm working with...
Well, compared to last year, like I said, what was that?
I don't know.
I thought it was a camera then for a second.
Good.
There's ghosts in the room. Compared to last year, like the bands that are on this year, a lot of big ones, like Chugaboom is the main one that comes to mind. I've seen them a bunch of times. They're sick.
Sure. And this year in particular, I mean, the I don't know what the word is, like the professionality of the bands.
Sure, yeah.
Especially like the top bill bands. I mean, they've been around a long time, or they're a lot bigger, or they play a lot bigger venues, and it's like the Saturday headliner. They're typically not a band that you would get in Swindon. They are one of those bands that would normally be overlooked, and so they're sort of like a pinnacle band, really, for the whole thing. I mean, like Raging Speedhorn, they've been
that's another one.
but they've been doing these sort of circuits for forever. Same for Evil and Discharge. They're
Evil.
They're all three of those are sort of equally. They're sort of equal to each other in scale and what they do and where they play and stuff. And it's not unusual for them to play Swindon.
Swindon's got a massive metal community. Like, I said this
you've only got to
before.
walk around town to see it.
Getting
them out.
I know. Yeah, I was saying this last time. I think it goes to people who aren't musicians. Maybe it flies under the radar a bit. that Swindon's like the happening place for like metal quite a lot of the time.
Yeah, it's just getting them out of the cave.
Yes.
Because there is a lot of them, I tell you. Like,
Yeah. Oh man, yeah.
A lot. It's just reaching them that's hard. And it could be a slow process trying to get through to them. But again, if you create attention, they'll see it.
Build it and they will come.
Exactly.
That goes the famous saying.
So, like I said, the more people that are doing it and taking the risks and prepared to lose a lot of money, then they're the guys that we need.
That's the tough bit, isn't it?
You're a promoter. You're the last to get paid. Everyone else gets paid first. So
it makes me laugh when bands would judge promoters against that and be like, "You're not paying me enough," but then actually the promoter is often worse off than the bands. Like ultimately,
yeah,
because they assume all the risk.
100%, but bands are very quick to like judge promoters if they're not getting paid enough for their gig or whatever.
Yeah, it's not just bands. It's
everyone.
It's a shit situation for everyone, and everyone needs to, you've got to have somewhere to blame and point fingers and stuff. And
yeah, for sure.
The bands deserve to get paid, and they deserve everything that they have for their art form. But at the same time, independent agents deserve to get paid and earn money from it. Independent promoters deserve to get money, and the venues deserve to get money. So
everyone's dipping their hands in the pocket.
We're all on the same level, but at the end of the day, the promoters are the ones that end up losing it all because they need to make sure that you're paid. Because if
you guys make these things happen, though, without you, arguably, like
100%,
there'd be no Deprivation Fest, and there'd be no,
Yeah.
So what was the history of Dep Fest? How did it first come about? And what goes into planning and organising an event like that?
Too much.
I was there last year for all 3 days, and it was sick. I had a sick time.
Oh,
it was great.
Yeah, it was good fun.
I liked it a lot.
So it kind of originally stemmed from my parents not looking after my kids so that me and the wife could go to Bloodstock for the weekend. And my sort of rebellious side to that was, I need my fulfillment.
Make my own festival at home.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much what it was,
Yeah.
So fuck you, mum and dad. I'm going to do it anyway.
But we got that at home now.
Yeah. So.
Oh, fair play.
And then I was given the space to do it in, and it just all sort of fell together. And I thought, fuck it, let's just go with it and book some cool bands and make a thing of it.
What's the process of sort of reaching out to these bands? Like, maybe not so much for last year, but for this year, is there like a lot of don't want to say gatekeepers that you've got to navigate, but
discuss this year and next year really, because that's in motion as well. So,
okay.
It depends what it is. If you're dealing with like the signed bands or the unsigned bands, and what the agent is and how big the agent is, and stuff like that. So there's some of like the process for this year where I'd say I sort of went the wrong direction, was trying to organise the more support bands and stuff before sorting the headliners out, because that makes it a bit more difficult to having the headliners in place is more appealing to make a smaller band say yes,
Sure.
I still managed to get together a really solid lineup for this year, with many of the bands being of their level, like the top bands of their level in the UK and stuff. So it's fell into place pretty well. But like next year, and with like one of the headliners this year, it's more about trying to approach agents and not targeting a specific band and not asking for a band. I'm asking them what they've got.
Okay.
Who's available? Here's the dates. Who have you got around that time? And with this year, Infected Rain was who I was going for. With the agent I reached out to. But again, I just didn't request them. I just put the email out. And
But in your mind, you're like, I want these guys.
yeah, and luckily they came back on the list. So
Yeah.
It's more about me, as it's still sort of early days and I'm trying to build that network. Just asking them to tell me, you know.
Is there a reason for that? Like, is it just it comes across as amateurish if you're like, oh, I really want these guys? Like, is it
No,
something like that?
I mean, personally, I kind of
There's some
feel...
tips from other promoters, but, you know.
Yeah, I whether it's true or not, I don't have a bloody clue. But I feel like if I go in and say, I want this band, how much are they? I'm going to get charged more.
Okay, right.
And
because they know you want something specific, you might be willing
because
to
I
pay
really
a
want
bit
that band.
Yeah,
you know?
okay.
As well, I
psychology.
I don't know whether that's true or not, but I feel like I shouldn't do that. So
there's probably some essence of truth to it somewhere.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, next year it's slightly different because this year was focused around what I wanted and what I thought would be good, and next year I've done the same thing to get a list of who's available and stuff like that. But I've not
planning that far ahead, like for next year already.
Yeah. So like I've had 2 bands confirmed, and they aren't bands that I listen to. You know, I don't really know them. So
that's good because you know. You're not just going for bands.
Yeah.
That, only stuff that you like.
But they fit who I'm targeting for headliners.
Sure. Yeah.
Right? So
it attracts headliners who are like, oh, these guys are playing.
Well, no, because I'm already in negotiations with headliners, and
not attracts, but makes
them
more inclined to be. Like,
yeah.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, that's what I think you're saying.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
It's just a lot more technical when I'm working out next year, and I need to think a lot more, and I'm trying not to open too many discussions at once and trying to close offers before I start new offers.
Sure.
So there's a whole number of different agencies that have offered me some fucking incredible bands, and I could 100% start offering out for things. But I just want to take my time and confirm the few that I know I'm actually physically discussing at the moment before I then go, right, let's make an offer on this, or let's make an offer on this. And, you know, there's a lot more thought going into next year. I'm in a much bigger venue. So, 1,300 cap.
Oh.
Yes. It's leaving Swindon.
It's leaving Swindon.
Yes.
The home of Deprivation is buggering off already. Come on.
No, I'm still planning on tying things in with it in the town and doing stuff in the town. But for Depfest to do what I want that to do, it needs to not be here. You know.
Sure. Yeah.
So that's moving next year. Bigger venue, a bit more. Professionally organised from, you know, what the venue offers and how they look after the bands and all this sort of stuff. It's kind of required because of the level of band that I'm dealing with. They want more specific information that this venue's already got sorted in a spreadsheet that I can just send and be like, you know, organise it to this, diameters of this and that and whatever. You know, because it's a hell of a lot more money than dealing with bands for a 350, 400 cap venue, you know.
Then that opens you up to bigger bands.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, that's ultimately what it is next year. I mean, you know, the sort of bands.
Was it Bloodstock and possibly down? They just when they first started, it was just a tent in a field. Like, am I right? Is that right?
No, Bloodstock's first year was indoor.
Okay, I don't know what I'm thinking of. I watched a documentary on something.
Most festivals started that small. Like, it's crazy to...
I mean,
it might have been something I heard in the Woodstock documentary on Netflix, and the guy's like talking about how he first got started, and he was like, it was literally just in a field. Like,
yeah, some do. I mean, ATG, he went straight for a field with what he does. Damnation, that started off in a small venue. I think one of their first headliners was Speedhorn as well, to be fair. Bloodstock was in a bigger venue, but it was still indoors for the first year. So yeah, they all, even Glastonbury started off in the village hall.
So
exactly.
did it? I did not know that. So I'm guessing then, with that in mind, your plan for Deprivation is to reach like Bloodstock download levels.
No.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
I don't.
Why
It's
not?
still kind of underground though, right? Like, so it's a,
Yeah, but I mean,
it depends how you want to look at it.
A lot of my favourite bands and the bands that I gravitate towards are of the level of a 1,300 cap venue. They don't do much bigger than that unless they're doing
so,
like a big
so
show.
we're not talking the Event Sevenfolds, the Kill Switch
No,
Engages.
because I'm not interested in any of that.
Are you not? I
it would sell.
Surprises me. Okay.
I'm sure it would sell, but
Yeah.
that's not what Deprivation is.
I think I may be struggling to. Are those bands that you listen to like on a regular? Like, yeah.
Well, Sevenfold, like back in the day, maybe when they were good,
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah.
but not now. No, I went a bit darker. So
Okay.
yeah, not these days. No.
Interesting. Yeah, I think that's something I sort of forgot to ask. I usually ask like all the guests, sort of, what's your actual music taste? What band you into? Like, who's your favourite artist? And so
Yeah.
on. So
I still love me new metal and that. I listen to fucking everything. It's just what I've gravitated towards is
strictly business wise, you talking like what the stuff you've gravitated towards, or do you mean your like taste and actual?
I'd book anything if it was if I thought it was good.
Okay, cool.
And my musical taste is quite diverse. Yes, my preference is like death metal and black metal, but I like everything.
Yeah, I think that's a good answer. If you're
good,
into music, like you just listen to
Yeah,
everything.
100%.
Like,
if it's good, I'll like it.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
If someone is into smooth jazz and they're like, this is the best you get from that.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they
totally.
play it and I'm like, no, then whatever. But
Interesting.
if it's good, it's good.
What is the line between it being like good and not good in that sense? It'd be interesting
that's
to hear.
hard,
Like,
that, isn't it? Because it's so subjective, isn't it? Music.
You've got to be able to hear that whoever's written that bit of music, you can hear if someone's passionate about what they're doing.
that is a sort of answer I'd give to that. To be
Yeah.
fair, yeah. The passion.
And there's 100% difference, because someone that cares about their music and puts a lot of work into their music and has taken time to really listen to their own music and write their music pays as much attention when they're in the studio to what that producer's doing to their baby.
It's really easy
and
to
that
tell
shows.
which ones those bands are as well when you go to see them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
how they
especially
perform
live.
their music as
Especially
well.
live,
Yeah.
For
So,
sure.
there's
Interesting. Good
Just-
answer. Yeah, I like that.
Going back to Deprivation, how do you?
Yeah,
go
sorry,
About, no,
sorry.
it's all right. How do you go about like the marketing promotion side in terms of ticket sales and like I guess the consumer side? Because obviously you talked about bookings. What do you do in terms of getting people to come along essentially?
handcuffs, whips, chains.
Domination.
Every time I talk to someone, can I have the long card number? It's difficult. Again, I'm not someone who's made of money. Making Deprivation work personally has been really fucking hard on a financial level to be able to cover it myself and to get into that position where the bands are going to get paid. That's okay. Everyone's going to get paid. That's all that matters, you know. That has restricted what I could have done or would have liked to have done with marketing and stuff like that. You know, I've had quotes, prices, and everything that I need, and the right connections to, you know, have things in various magazines or the big posters at other festivals that are going on, and some of the billboards in Swindon and stuff like that. And you know, I've had. I would have loved to have done all of that. However, various things leading to me having to fork out a bit more for the event, it just restricted me a bit. So there's been a lot more physical grafting when it comes to it, and flyering and spamming all over social media and sitting there in the evenings trying to work out new fucking platforms that aren't Facebook because they keep shoving their fingers in me.
I saw that. Yeah, you got. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, so
Well, these bands, obviously they're going to be self-promoting as well because they want to be wanting their fans to come to the gigs. So
they're doing their part. I mean, it's difficult for some of them. I mean, like a band like Infected Rain, for example, I wouldn't expect them to constantly keep going on about Deathfest because they're a big international touring band, so they can put out their tour flyer and that's about it. Maybe go on about the show a week or so before.
But that's good enough because if they've got fans here, that's how they'll find out about it. Like, oh, sick, they're only down the road.
Yeah. And then, they're constantly touring, they're doing it with bigger bands and they're doing all the bigger festivals and that. They're playing Bloodstock and people come across them, and I know that is sort of happening. Every time they do something, whether it be like release their album or play a show in a particular area or something, I get a little spike. So that's reflected and it works. Speedhorn, they're good. They like and share.
You can
stuff.
say the full name. Like.
It's too long.
Raging Speed. What a name! That's amazing. I love it.
So they all do their part. A lot of the smaller bands are really good. They'll holler and shout and scream about it, which is great. It's always appreciated. So people do it. Not as much as me, but. I'm the one losing the money.
It's great for the listeners. It's great for the listeners, like the people who come in to the festival, because there's a shit ton of bands playing over the 3 days. And people are going to discover stuff that they've not heard of before. There's definitely some names on there that I've not heard of, and I'm specifically coming because there's specific bands I want to see. But I know I'm going to find some like hidden gems. So
I mean, if you're coming on the Sunday, you got a great bloody day there. So. Yeah,
I'll be coming to those 3 days and booking the day before the first day off work and the day after the last day off work for prep and recovery time.
I think we're keeping it open until sort of early hours in the morning on the Friday and the Saturday as well.
Nice.
A bit more opportunity for the bar to earn some dollars.
Absolutely.
And then I think the Friday. The tour bus will probably be turning up about the time that the club ends, so I've got to keep an eye out for that.
Yeah.
So, get in. I've not slept for a month.
Make all these bands happy and feel welcome, and
and that's important to me.
Sure.
I'm around chatting to everyone and saying hello to everyone and trying to make sure that everyone's having a good time. So, and it's so far it's looking good. There's decent numbers. That there's enough so far that it's going to feel like a really good time.
Sure.
Which is good. That's all that's sort of important to me, really. It should be cool. I'm looking forward to it.
So, for those who are after tickets, where can they go? Because I know the answer, but for those listening who don't.
So, the tickets are available on the website, which is www.deprivationfest.com.
I shall put it in the link.
Yeah.
In the appropriate places for you.
So there's day tickets and weekend tickets. Weekend tickets are £60. Friday tickets are $20. Saturday, Sunday are $30 each.
Sweet.
And then if you pre-order...
So if you get the 3-day pass straight up, you're already getting a discount.
Yeah, and also if you pre-order a 2024 T-shirt, they are currently reduced at £15, and then I will personally send out a discount code to get a weekend ticket for £45. So technically you're paying £60 for a T-shirt and your ticket. But the T-shirts will be like £20 on the day.
Maybe I'll do that.
It's a good deal. It's a good T-shirt. Wearing it.
Oh, is this it here?
Yeah. It's cool, right?
Yeah, that's sick. Yeah. That's actually sick. It's got like the bands playing on the back as well.
Yeah, the lineup's on the back and that.
Yeah, hopefully the camera can see that. But
it's showing up on the camera fine.
So
it reminds me of like Scarecrow from Batman.
It's a Scarecrow. That's the whole point.
Oh my God, he's holding the head. I'm noticing more stuff. I'm looking at it.
Call him Rodney.
That's it, Rodney.
The scarecrow.
Is that the mascot's name? Like,
yeah, he's the deprived Rodney, all out in his little field on his own, all scared and worried because no one's turned up to his show.
Next year, the T-shirt will have a big grin, like great success.
I don't know. I'm going for a bit of a chrome look next year, so I might have.
Oh, really? Okay.
Bionic scarecrow or something. I don't know. That's what I'm trying to.
You still got T-shirts from last year? Did you make any for last year, or just curious?
Yeah, I've got T-shirts at home still from last year. I've kind of ignored them, so I don't know. We made our money back on them.
Yeah,
so
no, that's a dope shirt. I'm gonna have to do what you suggested and
and now that I'm doing it all through my website, I've got a lot more control over my tickets. I find I get the security that comes with the bigger ticket providers and stuff, but I really don't feel that it's essential when you're only dealing with a few hundred people to literally. There's a lot more assurance with it by doing it through a proper ticket provider, and you're paying your booking fees and stuff to represent that and protect your tickets and stuff. But I've put stuff in place to offer the same protection to myself. So by doing it through my website, I've been able to get rid of the booking fee. So people are now able to get their ticket. There is a fee, but I've absorbed it. But even if there was a fee, it's 50p.
Sure.
So as where some of the other ticket providers, because I didn't have like a pre-arrangement or something with them, like the weekend ticket booking fee was like £6, and it's ridiculous, and I don't want to be charging that,
Yeah, you have to put your ticket prices up.
And I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Beer, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I spoke to them about the booking fee, because one of them, they reimburse you 50% of the booking fee. I'm like, but I don't want that. Why don't you just put a lower booking fee?
Yeah,
fee? Doesn't make any sense.
It's cool.
It's
great.
business. It's cash flow for them.
Yeah.
It's good that you do
Risk.
that. It's good that you reimburse the booking fee. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like, I'm not complaining about the booking fee. It's the people that have to pay it that are complaining.
100%.
About it,
Yeah,
Which is why maybe people pay on the door and end up having to pay a little bit more
so
anyway.
I've taken a break from it. I've removed the booking fee from the tickets, so I'm getting like 50p less per ticket. But I'd rather people pay what it says that the price is, rather than have all these hidden things added on.
Yeah.
And then that's all secured away and protected. So if I ever need to cancel and refund, it's no stress for me to just sit there for a day and just refund individually.
So
it's not a massive number of people.
Is that something you came across when levels closed down? Because obviously that was my first thought. It's like, what's going to happen to Depfest? And obviously now it's back on and we're good to go.
Yeah.
But sort of how did that, maybe that's not the right question, but how did that affect when it closed down? Yeah, how did that sort of affect you and the plans?
I had to have a lot of faith.
Yeah.
I mentally decided to cancel maybe 2 or 3 times.
In your head, you just like...
In my head, I was like, right, fuck it, that's it.
Yeah,
I can't be bothered anymore. It's too much stress. I can't find somewhere else. And so I...
Glad you didn't. There's loads of people out there glad you didn't. Like,
yeah, I mean, I knew it was...
coming back again.
I knew it was coming, and...
a lot goes on behind the scenes, doesn't it? So
and
a bit clued in.
I had my ideas of what I was going to try and do, and there was nothing to worry about. It was just me faffing and flapping with what I was doing, really. So initially I'd looked at places like Chippenham Rugby Club and looking the grounds there and putting outdoors there, and then
that's where you're based, isn't it? Chippenham, where you're based.
Yeah. And then I'd had a meeting with the guy that runs Mecca about looking at doing it there.
That's interesting.
And a few other places. I literally ventured many options, but I just couldn't. I couldn't find a place that would make it work for the 2-stage thing. without it being too distant from what it's been organised to be, or costing more than it needs to be.
2-stage thing. So the
So yeah, it's the pub and the venue. So
yeah, last year it wasn't like that, was it?
No,
it was all
just a venue.
Is that just because of the amount of bands now? Like it's like twice as many bands playing, or
Yeah.
Sure. Cool.
So
that'd be interesting.
yeah, it would be fun.
Yeah.
Some of those bands in that pub are just gonna.
Yeah. That's what I mean. I'm like,
Wow,
It's loud,
It's like-
isn't it?
it's-
it's gonna be fun.
it's loud in there, and it's. I mean,
Awkward shape.
It's what? Sorry.
Awkward shape.
It is.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to work. I was like, it's deceptively. It's not. I don't know.
It's in front of the stage.
In front of the stage, there's no space, but it goes back so far.
That's
like, to
right,
the side.
side,
Yeah,
Like-
yeah.
It's a weird.
But like
weird
when you're at the bars like here, and the stage is like where you are, like
Yeah.
maybe not even that much room, and it's
So
like it's weird, like triangle bit in the corner that goes right. That's gonna be fun, actually. I think it'll be fun.
yeah. So basically, I was in constant conversation with the brewery and keeping tabs on what they were doing and emailing them every other bloody day, because I just wanted to make sure that, you know, is someone coming in? When are they coming in? What's going on? Is my event protected? You know, I don't want to have to cancel this event. I want to, you know, I just want to know that I'm good to go for August. You know.
Yeah.
And yeah, so in the end, I was like, right, I'll wait and let's just see what happens with that. I mean, it's the biggest difficulty with it really has been the fact that everyone in Swindon knows that the place shut down and it was closed and it was boarded up, which for me, trying to push an event that's coming up there was difficult, because everyone's like, but it's boarded up and shut down.
Yeah, that's the fake.
This is why I held off on tickets at the time, because I was
Yeah,
close to
exactly.
getting
Loads
them.
of people did. Yeah.
And then I was like, shit. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I'll wait and see what's going on.
What's harder to sort of translate at that point in time is like, yes, but I know that there's someone going in there on this date, and there's, you know, they're at this point in discussions or whatever, and
there's only so
it
much
is
you
gonna
can
be
say.
opening, you
Yeah.
know? So I know that, you know, Deprivation is going to happen this year, and a month later someone's going to go, oh, is it open again, is it? You know, because it's just always the way. But, you know, I'm hoping that now that, you know, people can see that it's active and there's people going in and coming out, and they're promoting stuff.
They definitely
can. It will start to build some of the trust in the people that live in Swindon, because, you know, my tickets are going all right. They're probably about where they need to be for how far out I am.
Yeah, so it's in August. So what are the exact dates? So
30th of August until the 1st of September.
Oh, okay, cool.
So there's still, you know, a decent amount of time to go yet. Peak sales and, you know, a month building up, and you know, it is what it is. But like 95% of the tickets aren't even Swindon people. You know, there's hardly anyone in Swindon's brought a ticket.
This is what I was saying earlier. I'm guessing that's going to be people who like these bands and they're coming in from elsewhere to see them. Like,
yes, it is.
Yeah.
You know, I've got people flying in from Europe. There's a guy coming over from the States for it. There's people coming from all over Scotland, Ireland, up North Wales, just everywhere except Swindon.
I think the last month and like the last 2 weeks, you'll probably see a massive spike, because then people will be like, "Oh shit, this is coming up. Let's grab my," because this is what I just haven't got around to doing it. Like,
No, and
I will. I'm coming. Like, are you going to go? You should go. You should go for one of the days.
Maybe.
at
I'm not
least.
massive into metal, but it would be good to go for one day.
It's still fun. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it'd be fun. I wouldn't do like
It's an
all the
experience,
time,
isn't
but
it?
yeah, it'd be
Like-
good to do one day. for sure.
It's not all death. It's not all death metal.
no, it's quite
like,
diverse. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
I mean,
It
like-
wasn't like that last year. Where there was a lot of like really melodic stuff. I remember.
Yeah,
Which is stuff
it
that
was.
I really like the melodic
Yeah.
sort of side of it.
This year, like the Friday, I mean, Rage and Speedhorn are very fast groove, hardcore type band.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And the support on that day are quite similar in that sense, and each day's sort of got its theme. So it's like on the Saturday there's a bit more sort of industrial metal and death metal and stuff, and then like the Sunday's really fast and thrashy or punky and a bit of emo stuff on there, and so each day sort of holds its own.
It's a different experience every day, even though it's all like metal based stuff. Like
they've got a different.
People who listen to metal know there's like 20 different genres of metal now. Like so,
there's more than that.
Yeah, there's like it just doesn't end. Whereas the normal person, metal is just but it's not like that.
But I mean, like, you know, you look at like Mother Vulture, they ain't metal at all. They're hard rock, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I don't, it's probably the wrong terminology for them, but they're closer to that than anything else. And then, you know, having like Discharge playing over them, old school
Discharge.
Fucking man.
Some of the metal band names are hilarious. I got
Embodiment are playing as well.
Yeah.
I know them personally. I know the singer personally.
Yeah, good guys.
Met him when he used to work at Cineworld in Bristol. Really random.
Yeah. But like, you know, I mean, Discharge, they've been around forever. They're UK punk legends, really. So having them sort of come into the town's pretty cool. I'm sure they've played before. I think they have, but that should attract a older bunch. So yeah, it's a really mismatched, diverse sort of selection this year that it kind of had to be because it's harder to sell one genre than it is to sell a few. It's not, you know, like 2025. It's going back to what last year was sort of intended to be musically, but at the level that I'm confident when it comes to how it would sell and how it will deliver and stuff. But this year, it's had to be a bit more to do better than like last year and to build enough for me or for the event to be taken seriously in what I'm doing, you know. And then with what I'm what I'm booking next year and who I'm working with and the venues that I'm dealing with and stuff, it's all about being taken seriously and showing that, you know, I don't just want to keep a 300 cap event every year. I want to grow something and have something in the Southwest that's, you know, something additional to what we've already got down here.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Because you know, there's cool stuff down here. James does well with Arctangent in Bristol, and there's, you know, smaller fests like Rabbit Fest and stuff in Oxford. So there is a good selection of stuff down here. But I just want to do something that's opposite end of the spectrum, but a decent level. You dying?
Oh, really bad hay fever today. Eyes have calmed down, but sorry, guys.
It's all good. It's all good. In a different direction. So obviously you've got loads of different like projects that you're involved with. Like, how do you manage like your time in between the projects that you're involved with? Because creative people in general, I think, something that we all struggle with.
I don't do any work at work. So, I tend to sit there with my laptop.
Yeah.
And I'll have my spreadsheets open, my emails open, plus my work thing open. And then I've got my work computer next to me, and 99% of the time I'm sat there answering emails and discussing bookings and emailing promoters and whatever, working out all that stuff, working on marketing and how I'm going to push various things. I'm just constantly doing that shit. And then, you know, every time I go for a fag, that's when I can make me phone calls and talk to who I need to talk to and stuff like that, you know. So, yeah, that's it. And then come Friday, I do my work on a Friday. Luckily, I've been at my job long enough, and I know enough about everyone's jobs that what should have probably taken me all week to do, like today, I'm like, oh shit, I'm going home in like 2 hours and I ain't done fuck all. So I'm like, right, laptop down.
Do you work best under pressure? Like, yeah.
I just crack on and do it. I know I can do it in like 10 minutes if I need to. You know?
Yeah.
So
just leave it till
you know,
last
it's
minute.
literally like said to the other guys in the office, I'm like, right, my headphones are going in. I need to do some work. just chuck my music on. 45 minutes later, I'd done my week's worth of work. I was like, right, feet back up.
So is this your day job, like your sole source of income? I don't know if that's what you mentioned when I was fannying around over there, but it is. Yeah. Okay.
So I do other stuff in the week because some of my job involves going out and about and doing stuff. But in terms of like the office stuff, it's piss easy, and I managed to sort of do both at the same time, under the radar a little bit. So at the moment,
sweet.
Until they see this.
Wow. Hopefully, yeah. They only listen on Spotify and not see your face.
No, not a chance. No.
All good.
But yeah, that's the best way to manage it. And then I come home, and as soon as I get home, I'm phone in hand, laptop's next to me, and I just keep going and going and going.
Yeah, I'm guessing because of the nature of it, it's not really like you just do it as and when, like all the time.
You can't stop. It's hard to switch off from it. And
I can relate to that.
I'm not just Depfest, but all the stuff I'm doing ultimately all of it on my own.
Yeah.
So it's a lot to keep going, and if I'm trying to book a tour for a band over in the States at the moment, and if I'm doing that, then I'm answering emails, but I've got to work on US time because they're all the promoters and stuff in the States. They're all on different time frames, and booking for next year's event, I'm talking to agents, but they're on a different time frame. So there's no point me replying in the morning because they ain't going to see it until the next day. So there's no point. I might as well just do it when they're up.
Yeah. Because of the nature of the business, I guess, and if you wait, it might, something else might
come
for them. Like.
So, there's a lot of time differences and stuff that just make it non-stop. I mean, if I ever get into the position where all of this sort of pays out enough for me to, cut out some hours at work or whatever, then it's a bit different. I can sort of set my times and what I'm doing and when I'm doing it. But at the moment, I just got to try and
fit it in,
do it in every gap I can.
Yeah, 100%.
So, yeah. Until then, it's just keep doing it.
Sick. Well, you're definitely putting in the grind, and I reckon that fest is going to be pretty banging.
Yeah, it should be good. I'm looking forward to it.
Want to end it there? Got any other questions?
No, I think we're all good.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to leave the listeners with? Anything else you want to talk about?
I don't know. I think we covered it. Yeah.
I'm pretty broad.
Yeah. Are you going to put some bigger shows on? We need some bigger shows in the town.
Maybe. We'll see on that one.
Doesn't matter what it is. The last one went well, though.
And it's Shikari, hopefully.
Yeah.
That's the dream, anyway.
A band that I would absolutely love to book in. It would probably. I don't even know if it's
Periphery. That's who I'd like to see.
I doubt it would sell well in Swindon, and I'd probably lose money. But I don't. It's one of those shows where I don't give a fuck. Let's just go with it. Thumposaurus.
Thumposaurus.
Don't know if I've heard
That's one we're gonna have to research.
Yeah, they did. They had a song that went viral on TikTok like a year or two ago.
Oh, okay.
Called Strutting. And they all dressed as cowboys and stuff.
Oh, sick.
It's amazing.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Thumposaurus.
Yeah, it's really like jazzy.
All these names, man, it's all the same in it with every name. It's like it's so creative. It's a good thing.
It's hard to come up with the original band.
We were talking about this when we had Jordan on, which you will have seen by the time this one comes out because I'm editing it at the moment. But yeah, we talk about band names on there like briefly. Like it's interesting.
There's some funny ones.
Yeah.
So yeah, Thumposaurus. They're like a jazz, like a modern jazz band, but they're good fun. So. And then I don't know. I've got Tragedy playing at the Vic in August as well.
Instantly thought of Steps.
Same.
It is. They're
Wait, what? Is this like a metal version of Steps? Oh my god!
Kind of.
Now that would be called
Tragedy.
So officially,
Sick.
Officially, they're a metal tribute to the Bee Gees and beyond.
That is well cool.
So, because obviously Tragedy is a Bee Gees song, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
it was originally. Yeah, of course.
They are full on Spinal Tap, glam rock tribute band to
That's really cool.
all of that sort of music, and they're fucking great.
Do it.
Yeah, so they're coming over from New York. I've got them in the Vic.
They're playing at the Vic?
Yeah, 7th of August.
Oh, wow. So that's be before
Yeah,
Death
yeah,
Fest.
yeah. So it's a nice little show. And I've got a Surreal
check that
Panther. No, Steel Panther tribute band.
I love Steel Panther.
So it's those two together. So it should be like a proper
That'll be
night
a
of
really
glam rock.
nice-
Steel... Oh, mate, I'm
We'll have to
totally
go
going
to
to
that,
that.
won't we?
Yeah,
They're
Steel
great.
Panther. Have you heard of Steel Panther?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mate.
so Surreal Panther's the tribute. And they're really good. I mean, Steel Panther had them on stage to perform with them once.
It's so weird because Steel Panther are like basically like when they're not a tribute band, but it's like
Parody.
It's like a parody of like 80s. It's like their tribute to like 80s
Yeah.
hair metal and stuff. And yeah, now they've got like a tribute band.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Oh, I love Steel Panther.
So, yeah,
Guitarist is amazing. So underrated.
Yeah. That's 7th of August.
7th of August. Okay.
And then I'm straight off to Bloodstock after
What
that.
day is
show.
that? Is that Friday or Saturday?
It's a Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday. Oh,
So it ties in
that would work.
with the Wacky Wednesday thing that he does at the Vic as well.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So that'd be quite busy, I reckon. Then.
I hope
would
so.
probably be, yeah.
Well, Wacky Wednesdays
alright.
usually get pretty busy. For those who don't know, Wacky Wednesday is like a jam night that happens at the Vic, and it's sort of in tandem with like a karaoke night in like the main bar. And it's a lot of locals go, and it's usually quite rammed.
Yeah, and Tragedy
it's
are one of
good
those.
fun.
They're one of those bands that they know they do well, and they're a safe booking. You know, they're gonna do good. I'd be very, very surprised if it didn't sell out.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, it would be really fun.
Cool. Just to close out with, because I've got to ask this, and we started, I usually ask everyone what they've been listening to. Any new bands you can recommend that you're really into? Heard anything over the last week?
No, I've still been listening to that Bring Me album.
Yeah.
I've actually really enjoyed
Still
that.
haven't
The new
checked it
one,
out.
yeah. I actually really like it. A lot of people won't, but I really like it.
Fair enough.
Zealand Ardor.
Wait.
Yeah.
Zealand, is that a Norwegian?
Zealand Ardor.
German?
No, he's like half American, half Switzerland.
Can
I
you
think.
spell it though?
Huh?
Can you spell it though?
Yeah. Z-E-A-R.
Z-E-A-R?
No, Z-E-A-R. And Ardor, A-R-D-O-R.
Oh, so it's something and...
Ardor.
Ah, I thought it was all one word. I heard it really strange in my head. I was like, what? Say it one more time.
Zealand Ardor.
Zeal and ardor. Ah, I was saying it
It's
all as
great.
one word.
Really, really cool music. It's like he's taken black metal and crossed it over with like slave shanties. So it's
Oh,
like-
sick.
Yeah. And it just works so well and really cool, really different.
They do a lot of that in metal, like crossing genres.
Yeah, and
like,
it's working at the moment.
Yeah.
A lot of like the really heavy
pirate
shits
metal
bringing in
bands and
different
stuff, and like there's loads out there.
Yeah.
Zeal and ardor.
Zealand Ardor.
I have to check that out.
Really good. So yeah, but then podcasts. There's one at the moment that I would suggest anyone that's interested in understanding music industry and
The Harmony and Hustle podcast.
no, two promoters, one pod.
Two promoters, one
Pod.
one
I like
pod.
that. That's cool.
Yeah, so it's
cool.
I think I've
Gav.
seen that actually, like one episode.
That's a cool
That's
name.
amazing.
God damn.
It's Gav who organises Damnation, and then you've got
Gavlar.
yeah, James from Arctangent and 2000 Trees. And they're just quite openly discussing how it is being a festival promoter, and which
Okay, that's interesting.
It reflects on a lot of industry stuff that
Yeah.
you know people that would generally complain about certain things, they're sort of shedding light on. Well, actually, here's this and that, and it's very insightful to anyone that's got an interest in the industry or thinks they might want to
I'll check that out.
dive into the industry and stuff.
Yeah,
It's
might be good for you to
really
listen
good,
to, Dan.
Really good.
I've heard of it for sure. I
Yeah.
think I've seen like one or two of them.
Yeah.
Sweet. Cool. Well, I guess that's all we got time for
Yeah, that's it.
today then. But Martin, thanks for coming on. It's been like really insightful and like super interesting.
No problem.
It's nice to you're doing a lot of work behind the scenes, and
Trying.
yeah, it's not going unnoticed. So yeah, Deprivation Festival, guys. Swindon Levels and the Rolleston Arms on the 30th of August to the 1st of September.
Yeah.
£60 for the weekend, 20 for the first day. 30 for Saturday and Sunday. Is that correct?
Each.
30 each. And I'll put the description in the appropriate places, the link rather, where you can purchase these.
As well as the charity song, because that's going to be out.
Yeah.
Will that be out by the time this comes out? So I'll put that in the description too.
It'll either be out or there'll be a date.
Okay, cool.
And that's strictly Bandcamp.
Okay, sweet. So yeah, okay, this will probably be out in about
or anything until much later.
2 weeks, maybe.
Yeah, it'll probably be around then.
Sweet. Okay, well I'll talk to you outside of this and figure it out. Yeah, cool. Thanks again, guys, for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and all that fun stuff. And we'll see you on the next one.
Yeah, thanks for watching. See you next time, guys.
Bye. Ciao.